Welcome back. In this tutorial, we are going to discuss how to register for a class at PCC. As usual, you're going to want to start by logging in to your MyPCC account. Once you're logged in, there are a few different ways to navigate to the registration page. I'm going to choose the one that I typically do, which is under this term-to-term checklist, under the registration tab, and click on Register for Classes. There are also a few ways to go about doing the next step, which is searching for classes to register for. One way is to click this Look Up for Classes tab, but for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to both add and drop classes, so that's the link that we're going to use today. We will now search for classes using this Class Search button. Again, we have to select the term that we want to register for and submit. Now, we have a list of all the subject areas in alphabetical order. Scrolling through, you will recognize many of the subjects like biology, economics, math, and many others. For our tutorial, I figured I would register for one of the most common courses, Writing 121. We'll scroll all the way to the bottom and select the writing subject and click Course Search. Now, we have a list of all of the writing classes available at PCC during fall term. Classes like Advanced Creative Writing or specific writing classes like 242, which is poetry. Today, however, we're going to register for Writing 121, English Composition, which is one of the most common prerequisites at PCC. Click the View Section button for the Writing 121 section, and we'll choose a class that works for our schedule. Here's where registration gets a little tricky. There are a few different headers that explain where and when the class is, along with identifying how many students are in the class and how many spots are left available. I'm going to go from left to right and explain each one of these headers and their abbreviations. First, we have the CRN header. This is the course reference number. It's a simple 5-digit number and can be used to search any of the courses. Next up, we have the subject header, in this case, writing, followed by the course header, CRSE course 121. Here's where things begin to get very important to pay attention to. This column is referencing which campus the class is located on. Keep in mind that PCC has a few campuses scattered all over the Portland metro area. Across the street from you students at Jefferson is the Cascade campus, abbreviated with the letters CA on this list. Keep this in mind, and we will try to register for a writing class on the Cascade campus after I finish explaining the different column headers. Next is the credit column. This is referencing how many credits the class is worth. A 4-credit class is the most typical, and being enrolled in 12 credits is considered being a full-time student. The linked ID column is rarely used and specific to certain subject areas. As you can see here, there's nothing in the column. Next, the INSM column, or Instructional Method. This column you'll want to pay attention to if you're interested in taking an online or web course. As you can see here, if it's blank, that means it's on campus. Hybrid, half on campus, half online, or a web class where it's not on campus at all. Scroll back up. The next tab, the title tab, is just a redundancy telling us that we're signing up for English Composition. But now we find ourselves planning our schedule with the Days tab. The abbreviations here can be a little confusing, but are straightforward once you get used to them. Typically, weekday classes will either be on Monday and Wednesday or Tuesday and Thursday. And this is a common theme across all Oregon colleges and universities. The Monday and Wednesday classes are abbreviated MW. The tricky part here is the Tuesday-Thursday classes, abbreviated TR. T for Tuesday, R for Thursday. Keep this in mind. Looking forward, we have the time header. It's pretty self-explanatory, just telling you when the class will be. Keep in mind that with web classes times TBA, as you don't meet in person. The next few tabs tell us whether or not the class is full or still available. First, we have the cap column, which tells us how many total students there can be in the class. After that is the act column, or the actual amount of students that have already signed up for the class. Following this is the rem column, or remaining. This represents how many spots are remaining in the class. If this column has a value greater than 0, there's still room in the class. Like this first one here, though, the remaining spots are 0, and you wouldn't be able to register for the class. If the section you want to register for is full, the next few columns will be helpful, referred to as the wait list. This list can be registered for in hopes of someone in front of you dropping the class. Basically, you join the wait list and literally wait to see if a student drops the class you ideally would like to join. The next few headers are just the instructor's name, followed by the date of the class and the building that it's located in. The last column is directed us to the specific building and classroom that our class will be located in. I would suggest checking out the campus maps that are available online to better familiarize yourself with the campuses and their many buildings. Okay, now that we've been over all the tricky headers and their abbreviations and what they mean, let's actually find a class that works with our schedule and get registered. First, we know we want to register for a Writing 121 class. Now, we want to consider which campus we want to attend. For most of you, it will likely be the Cascade campus. Let's go ahead and scroll down here. CA is the abbreviation for Cascade. SY is Sylvania. RC is Rock Creek. I think this means that it's online. The DL. So let's focus on these Cascade campus sections. Now that we've found the class we want on the campus we want, we should focus on the days and the times. Let's plan on going to school on Mondays and Wednesdays. That leaves us with these two options here for the Cascade campus. Notice that even though registration has been open for fall term for less than a week, there are still sections of Writing 121 that are completely full. Luckily, there is a section available that will fit perfectly in our schedule. Writing 121 on Monday and Wednesday from 2 to 3:50 p.m. is a class we're going to register for. This next step is pretty simple. You pick one of these two, make sure there's availability, come to the far left, check the box, scroll all the way down, register. If your registration was successful, it should bring you to this page. And down here, we will see that we were web registered for the CRN 40121, Writing 121, English composition. Simple as that. Now, I mentioned earlier that I also wanted to show you guys how to drop a class, just in case you had changes to your schedule or any number of other reasons, and this happens quite a bit. So, when dropping a class, it's as simple as going to this page, selecting the Action tab here in the middle, clicking the Web Drop option, scrolling to the bottom, and submitting the changes. And we'll be brought back here to our Add or Drop Classes tab, where we will see the registration changes were processed, and we successfully dropped the class.